Hello everyone. So we're going to do our first example of finding our variance and standard deviation, and actually our mean on the way, using table data or grouped data. So you can see here that I have the example from the slides where on our leftmost column we have our intervals. These are weights in pounds where it's 30 to 49, 50 to 69, 70 to 89, and 90 to 109. And then we've got the following frequencies, 8, 10, 12, 7, for a total of 37. So X in this case represents our midpoint. So the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out what our midpoint is. So we're going to take 30 plus 49 and divide that by 2. So if we do that, we get 39.5. Now, as before, these intervals were all the same size, so now I'm just going to use the pattern, right? So if this was up by 9.5, this one is going to be 59.5, this one is going to be 79.5, and this one is going to be 99.5. So now we have our midpoints, which are going to represent the average value for this interval, which we're just going to use to represent each data point in that interval, because we don't know what the individual outcomes are in each interval. So we're just going to say, well, on average, they would be in the first group 39.5. So I'm just going to treat it as if I have 8 39.5s. Even though I know those 8 values are not 39.5 most likely, I'm still going to treat it as if they are, because on average, they generally will be, because I expect that I'll have some values that are below 39.5, some that are above the 39.5, but on average, they will be 39.5. So I could treat it as if I have 8 39.5s. So you'll notice the next column in our table, we have our midpoint times our frequency. So we're going to do that for each of these. So 8 times 39.5, we get 316. And then we have 10 times 59.5, so this is going to be 595. Then we have 12 times 79.5. This is going to be 954. And we have 7 times 99.5, which is going to be 696.5. And then I'm going to find what the total of this column is. So I have 696.5 plus 954 plus 595 plus 316, and I get a total of 2,561.5. Now you might wonder, why did I get the total for this column? Well, first of all, I don't need the total for the midpoint column because the total of the midpoints really doesn't mean anything. But I do need this because if you look at our next column, when we're going to start building out for our standard deviation of variance, we have x minus x bar. We know what x is. X is going to be our midpoint, but we don't know what x bar is. So we're actually going to have to solve that ourselves. So if you remember how to find the mean when you have interval data or grouped data, it is going to be x bar equals the sum of your midpoint times the frequency divided by the sum of your frequencies. Well, guess what? We already have that data, right? Because these values are x times f. They're the midpoint times my frequency. And this is the sum of my x times f. So this is going to be 2,561.5 divided by my sum of f, which is I just take my f, I get the total. This is going to give me 37. So this means that I will have a mean of 69.23. Now we can do this next phase. This next phase, notice that it's x minus x bar. So we are not using this xf column anymore. We're using this x column. So we're going to have 39.5 minus 69.23. So we get 39.5 minus 69.23. We get minus 29.73. We get 59.5 minus 69.23. We get negative 9.73. Now we have 79.5 minus 69.23. This gives us 10.27. And then finally, we have 99.5 minus 69.23. And this gives us 30.27. Now, one thing I want to clarify is, remember how I told you that if we were to now sum these values up, they would be pretty close to zero? Well, you can kind of see from this example here that they're already pretty close to zero. But this is kind of misleading, because if you sum up these values, it doesn't necessarily go to zero, because you still have to take into account that this negative 29.73, when you look at how much your data point deviates from the mean, there's 8 of them. This negative 9.73, there's 10 of those. This 10.27, there's 12 of those. That 30.27, there's only 7 of those. So while these are all pretty close and it would be close to zero, you can actually have, if you were to sum up this column, it would be pretty far away from zero still, and it's because you're not taking into account these frequencies. But you could kind of think of the weight of each category. But if you were to think of this as this value right there is how much this midpoint deviates from our mean. We have 8 of those. So if we were to actually add these up now, it would be minus 29.73 plus minus 29.73 plus minus 29. You'd have to actually consider that there's 8 of them. But with our table, we now know that we're also going to take this term and we're going to square it. So these negative values are now going to become positive. So we have negative 29.73 squared, and this gives us 883.87. We have negative 9.73 squared, which is going to give us 94.67. 10.27 squared is going to give us 105.47. And 30.27 squared is going to give us 916.27. Okay, so we're not done yet though, because remember, this is the squared deviation of a single data point from our mean. So we took that, how far away it was from the mean, we squared it, but that's only for a single data point. For this first group, we have 8 of them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these values and we're going to multiply by that frequency. So 883.87 times 8. So 883.87 times 8. This is going to give us 7,070.96. Next, we're going to take our 94.67. We're going to multiply it by our frequency of 10. So this is going to be 946.7. Next, we're going to do 105.47 times our frequency of 12. So 105.47 times 12 is going to give us 1,265.64. And the last one, we have our 916.27. We're going to multiply it by that frequency of 7. So 916.27 times 7 will give us 6,413 and 0.89. And then last thing we're going to do in this table is we're just going to sum these values up. So this is going to give me 7,070.96 plus 946.7 plus 1,265.64 plus 6,413.89. Add those up together and I get 15,697.20. Oh, sorry. My calculator rounded. This would actually be 0.19. So now we have everything we need to calculate our variance and our standard deviation. Now, if you were asked at this point, what is your sum of squares? Well, if you remember, our variance is sigma squared, but in this case, let's assume that we have sample data. So in this case, if we're doing sample data, this would be s squared equals, because we have x bar, so we know it's a sample. This would be the sum of x minus x bar squared times the frequency over the sum of our frequency minus 1. This top term here is our sum of squares, which if you look at that, it is x minus x bar squared times the frequency, and you sum them up. So our sum of squares is this bottom right value on our table, 15,697.19. So this is actually going to be the top term of our variance as well. So we're going to have 15,697.19 divided by, and I take the sum of my frequencies, 37 minus 1. So I take 15,697.19 divide by 36, and this will give me 436.03. Now, if I want my standard deviation, remember, like I told you, you could calculate it from using the formula and stuff like that. You could take this value divided by 36, take the square root of that, or we could just take s is equal to the square root of s squared, and I'm going to plug this value in. So I'm taking the square root of 436.03, and I'm going to get 20.88. And there you have it. Using this table for interval data, we were able to fill out the table, figure out what our mean is, which allowed us to finish filling out our table. We figured out what our sum of squares is, and then we could figure out what our variance is by taking our sum of squares divided by the sum of the frequencies minus 1 and calculating that value. And then we could find the standard deviation of our sample by then taking the square root of the variance of our sample. Now, the last thing I want to talk about before we're done with this example is this is actually a good place to kind of see why we typically talk about data in terms of standard deviation. Because if you look at our weights are values that go from 30 to 109. So when I talk about how much the data varies, the variance is telling us that it varies by 436.03, which, because we took all of our values and we squared them, it's not really in the scale of our original data. So while we can use this for any calculation we want, just knowing that it's variance, so it's a squared value, it doesn't really make sense in terms of our actual data. So instead, we take the standard deviation because now it makes more sense to talk about our data, because we could figure out what our mean is. On average, these, I guess they're people, weigh 69.23, I don't know, kilograms, with a standard deviation, or deviating by about 20.88 pounds, right? So now this standard deviation is in the scale of our actual data. So this is actually why we have variance and standard deviation. Variance is for a lot of other calculations that we use in advanced statistics and things like that. But when we're actually dealing with the data itself and we want to talk about what it means, we tend to talk about the variation in terms of the standard deviation, because it's how much the data deviates based on the scale of our actual data. So that's it for this example. We'll do another example after this, and then we'll finish up this section. Thank you for watching. To continue learning, click the linked video here for the next lesson. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.